Hi, I'm Rebecca Davis. I'm the archivist at the Limestone County Archives in Athens, Alabama, and I've been using Starter to power the Limestone County Digital Archives since 2020. So when I wanted to show you just a little bit about how we used the digital archives to be able to provide content for our community newspaper during a time when they were short-staffed and just needed some local history content that people would enjoy. And I'm showing you our digital archives public portal. And I got a call from the editor, and she said, "You got anything we can use? Any articles just sitting on go?" And I said, "Yes, I do." I said, "Go to our digital archives and click on Limestone History articles, and just have a ball." And these are articles that I started writing back in 2011. Here's an example of one about the 1916 courthouse. And this was for just a little free local newspaper that I just wanted to share a little bit of history content. And so she went through and did just like I'm doing right now and started looking for things that caught her eye. And what I can show you the way what she found, I'll just start with the word woolly, because the first article she found was about Woolly Springs, and that is so named Joel Woolley, not anything having to do with sheep. Woolly Springs, I had written an article about Joel Woolley and the Woolly Springs Resort. It's available right here on the starter portal. And she found it. She called me up and she said, "This is great. I want to be able to use this and some other articles that you've written all about bodies of water here in Limestone County and some of the history of that. Do you have any photos to go with it?" Well, as you can see, I do. As a matter of fact, there was a resort. There were actually two resorts at Woolly Springs. This was the Millhouse Hotel. It was a sulfur springs, and people would come to just soak in the healing waters, as they thought. And although I cannot imagine the smell, because if you've ever smelled a sulfur spring, it smells like rotten eggs. And apparently they had sulfur springs drinking contests too. So that's all in the article. We've got these photos. She picked this and a few other photos that all have to do with bodies of water. This particular and of recreation. So this particular photo, I had not tagged bodies of water. I need to go back and do that. But I had it tagged with our subject here, businesses, recreation. And then one of the subject matters, you see all the metadata, it's got our rights statement. So I was able to tell her, "Hey, you can use what you want, just give us some credit." And if you just do a search for bodies of water, because that is one of our search terms that we have built into our subject metadata plan, then you come up with all sorts of photos, articles. This is one of my favorite photos of the spring around which our town was built. And these four men, actually, because I had posted this up, I was able to get a little crowdsourcing. And one of the Ewell Smith's grandson, Ewell Smith, said, "Hey, I know those guys." And he was able to help us identify these men. The crowdsourcing kind of came back to bite me, though, because as we ran one of those photos of the Woolly Springs there in the paper, I got a couple of calls and emails from some old timers in town saying that was not Woolly Springs Resort. That was Millhouse Resort that was built on the same property. But then they also shared with me some photos and information about the Woolly Springs Resort. It led to some great conversations. So it was a way to reach out to the community with content that I had already had ready for almost a decade, just sitting on go. But to be able to reach a new audience, we've got a lot of newcomers here in Athens. In Limestone County, it's a very rapidly growing community now. So it was all new to them. And I was also able to, like I said, to be able to crowdsource, to find some more information. Whenever she found an article about some of the articles that did not have photos uploaded, for example, Cottonport here, this is an article about Cottonport, one that I had also done a historic marker video about that's on our digital archives. She said, "Hey, that photo that you used in the video, it is not available on your digital archives." So I was able to just upload it and have that ready for her as well. So it turned out to be a way that we were really able to use the digital archives, Limestone County Digital Archives, to give a history lesson, to provide some education, entertainment, infotainment, if you will, for our community, and just to do some positive outreach for the Limestone County Archives as well. We got a lot of positive feedback from the community and also from my county commissioners, the people who sign my paycheck, to be able to understand the value of the archives, the information that we have, and to connect a whole new audience with that, just using our digital archives and the content that we have here, the content we've had all along, but just have not made it digitally preserved and readily accessible to the people who want to find it. So that's a little of our story.